My friend's reasons to have children. Me and my friend were having a discussion about children in the future. We are both 27 and child-free now. She knows that I don't want kids and she is cool with my decision. I asked her why did she want to have children and she told me. I can't imagine myself being 70 without children. I would be all alone. Who would I call? What if fall and hurt myself? What if I have no money? Who will pay for my retirement home? I'm afraid of being alone. I understand her sentiment, but I tried to tell her that kids don't always care for their parents when they grow up, but her views didn't change. I get her though. It got me thinking. I feel most of us die alone, with or without children. I honestly have no idea what will happen to me if I end up helpless, broke, and old. It's a scary thing. But I sure as hell won't have kids because I'm afraid. Having children just because of that is kinda selfish to me. What do you think? What are your plans if you end up old and alone? 39 years old, when will I be old enough to not get asked anymore? So I got married last week. My husband is 45. I'm 39. We are very happily child-free. We have plenty of friends with kids, it's just not for us. We have rescue animals, busy careers and enjoy our time together. I can't actually believe it, but I have genuinely been asked now twice, so when's the baby going to happen? Do people actually think that's the sole reason anyone would get married? Or that at our ages it's a wise decision? Or that, shock, two happy people can be happy as a two. I truly thought it would stop at my age. Do I need to wear a sign that says, "Hi, I'm perimenopausal"? Gen Xers want grandbabies. I have a classmate who posted a picture of her dogs, and captioned it with something along the lines of, "Until my children finally get around to giving me grandchildren, you'll have to put up with pictures of my dogs." I asked her if there was a rule written somewhere that children are under an obligation to give their parents grandchildren, and she said it was her rule. Then another classmate chimed in and said, "All of my friends our age have grandbabies, and I want one so bad, and I'm missing out," which reminded me of how we all felt about Cabbage Patch Dolls or the Atari 2600. But now I'm seriously thinking that the next time one of my classmates whines, "All of my friends have grandbabies, and I want one too," I'll ask, "If all of your friends had syphilis, would you want that?" P.S. That first classmate posted recently that, they're finally having a baby. WTF, woman? Brother effed around and found out. 5 kids and his wife just walked out on him to be with a guy she's been talking to. Moved out and in with the new guy. Thing is, she's been having kids since she was 16, girl didn't even get to know what life's like. Just kept having kids. I think she got so burnt out being a stay-at-home mum and my brother not helping around the house that she just left. My brother is losing his poop over it. I tried to talk to him years ago a few times about what safety nets he had in place and got called a Naz. I walked out, haven't seen him since. All the red flags were there. She kicked him out after the first kid for a while because he was on social media being a dumb butt. But then she went and did the same, but he's not allowed. She didn't even try to cook at home, they lived on takeout. And she spends a ton of money on purebred pets that they need up rehoming because one of the kids got bit. No one taught him not to mess with pets, animals, so the pet suffers. Now I've lost my sympathy for this whole scenario because the things I've seen would have most people saying, "Wait a minute, this isn't good." I got eviscerated by my brother with verbal diarrhea and bragging about his family being his light. Well, how'd that turn out? Tried to help keep the inevitable from happening by taking care of his kids myself, but that's all he wanted from me, so I stopped. I'm not a free sitter, or even a paid one. I don't do childcare anymore for too many reasons to list. But I'm sure y'all could list a few. Trying for a third when they can't handle the 2 they have. Here we go again. My sister and her husband announced they are trying for a 3rd child and the whole family is upset about it. All we ever hear is how exhausted, overwhelmed, and disappointed they are being parents to the 2 kids they already have. They are always pissed off we all don't babysit more and are constantly trying to leave us with the kids without asking. We used to help more, but they've become really depressing to be around. My Bill tells us he already regrets being a parent but has chosen this path and can't back out now. Sister is extremely depressed and medicated, but always envisioned a bigger family and time is running out. Yet in the next breath she'll say she doesn't enjoy being around her kids and they make her angry. Not to mention both births were so traumatic they said they'd never have another. They both keep saying what a great break it'll be getting paternity leave, as if that's worth an additional 18+ years of servitude. How are they so blind? Why do they insist on sinking themselves further underwater when they're already clearly drowning? I hate the phrase, "it takes a village." I hate when people say this about having kids because it honestly is really rude to assume that your friends and family are going to help you parent your child. Sure, it's nice to know you can count on people, however, you shouldn't go into parenthood expecting that to happen. Some people want nothing to do with children, and that is okay and very understandable. Kids are overwhelming and very hard to deal with. You can't expect everyone to put up with that just cause they are your friend or family member. When family projects every bit of news and update as, "You're pregnant." So grateful to have found this sub. It's already not been a good day, so please allow me to swing wide. My wife and I got married last fall, after almost a decade living together. We both graduated grad school during the pandemic in a state we had absolutely no intention of staying in post-education. I'm self-employed in my field while my wife has, through several bad jobs, ended up in a decent paying field. When we graduated in the pandemic, it was 100% survival mode. Find any work to cover costs. Now, after working hard to pay for our wedding and build experience in our fields, my wife has been offered an amazing position in a new state where we actually want to be. She's crushing it and I am so proud of her. After graduating into lockdown and all of the work we put in, we have been able to manifest a truly positive change in our lives. My brother just had his first kid last year, and all they want from us is to get married, move back home, and have babies. I called my brother to let him know we'd be moving, not back home, and his response was, "I thought your news was that you were pregnant." It's no biggie, and I'm still beyond excited for my wife and I. But man, I'm a bit bummed that was the first thought out of my brother's mouth. He's set up for a decade of disappointment, because we do not want or are planning for kids. Don't bring her to the shop, please. My partner works in a tattoo shop and has been for the last 5 years or so. Everyone at the shop feels like family to me, since I often come by to bring my partner lunch or just to say hi to her. Sometimes I bring lunch for the floor techs too. I also get my piercings there too, so I'm a pretty regular customer. As of late, the man who tattoos in the booth next to her got divorced and has been bringing his daughter to work. Today is one of the few days that she's distracted with her tablet while her dad's tattooing. I don't know how old she is, but I'd guess around 4. Most of the time she's running around, messing with the floor techs, screaming, etc. It bothers me to no end. But usually her dad is doing renovations on his room and she does all this while he has no customers, thankfully. But today I come in to drop off food and say hi and she's in his room on her tablet while he's tattooing. She's distracted for right now, but I can only see that going badly while he's tattooing, bumping into things or him, or having a fit when the tablet dies. I'm kind of at a loss for words. This guy makes a lot of money and somehow won't get a sitter for his kid, and somehow it's okay for him to bring her to work every day in an environment that's not only destined for cleanliness, but one that has to be quiet and calm so people can do their jobs. It's like an ER nurse bringing a toddler to work. I don't get it. Do you have a secret little subreddit that is a favorite? Share it in the comments and it could become the next big thing.